Anyway, I'll talk to you later. I'm about to do the live stream. Bye bye. G'day guys. I don't know if you can hear me, but this is the Head and Shoulders target. So let's see where I am. Where am I? I do believe I'm online. I'll start this chat in, what did I say? In, what's it? Another 15 minutes I might start. Just got to do a few things, but here we go. Let me just fix this chart up a bit, and so people can have a perspective for the Head and Shoulders. So there was two scenarios, and when it passed that one, I pretty much bought that. I'm going long now because it hit that target. That's where I jumped in, and that is Head and Shoulders, and it's perfectly measured. So if this is the head to the neckline, apply to the breakout point, and you couldn't get it any more accurate. Where's the head and where's the shoulders? That's the left shoulder. Let me just change that color. I should have put that on my last video, but I didn't get the chance. The thought came to me later. That's the left. This is the head. Yep, it's a square shape, but that is. And this is the right shoulder. A complex formation, but I think knowing that this is the neckline and that we had a pause there tells me that was a significant point, and all the other scenarios failed. So the last scenario was Head and Shoulders, and that was the case there. And you can see previous support there, resistance, and so on. Very another level of significance based on this formation. So I could be wrong, but I'm betting that it's going up. So give me 5-10 minutes, I'll be back. But I do believe that is the case. Let me see. Now, what makes me feel that way as well, that we hit our mark, I had this bear token, and if I can get it up, I had a few target points. This bear token also meets my requirements as a target. So Bitcoin bear, you can see using the inverted bar process, this line, you can actually use this line for many ways. You can also do it this way as well. The formation started from this top, and this is where we hit it. So I could be wrong, but this also sort of complements the target for Bitcoin, where this is the bearish target. Yeah, I can't go more into that. It's pretty evident But you can look at this chart. Let me just do a cleanup. Say this, I'll do it this way. And I'll just pretty much delete everything there. And just start from scratch. We have a few formations with this bear token. That is a target. That's one target. If that was a, but it didn't do that. This was potentially another. And the third one, if you use this formation. So we have an area where there's a lot of starting points for this downward formation, and we pretty much hit it in that area. So the bearish token also complements that. So going back to Bitcoin, it might capitulate more. So I could be wrong, but I do feel like this point is very significant. And if it was to be head and shoulders, this is it. If it's not, then God knows what's going to happen after that. Then we pretty much run out of ideas. So after that, the next level is pretty much all the way down to 24K really. So if this doesn't hold, we're going to go down to 24K. That's because the 24K, there's no real, so this area, if this area doesn't hold it up, which is here, and this is a strong support, if we don't hold it up here, then we're going to get free descending all the way down here, even probably to 21K. Why would it stop here? This will be the next, pretty much, that's crazy. I can't see how that can happen, but don't be surprised, it can. This is really not, this is nasty at the moment for the month, and it's breaking all the rules from previous cycles. So what do you think the bottom is? Wow. I'm still thinking this is the level. We should find a support here, and let's just clear up the chart. Let's save it first before I delete everything. If I delete this, okay, now we can have it at a proper perspective. And just move it up. Now we can look at the chart in its entirety. Let's get the 8-hour chart, 8-hour, and look at the formation and the structure. So now we're looking at the macro. It's all about macro forecast, right? I'm still going long. I've entered this area and I'm holding it. So until it goes down further, I'm going to take my chances. So here we go. There's some lessons from history. If we do the Fibonacci from this point, let's just do it. And what we find out is that the golden ratio is always applicable. Why is it slow now? I've got no idea. All right. So if you haven't seen this, you should. It's nothing, no big deal, people. So the golden ratio is always the resistance point. So from that reference to the bottom, from 2017 all the way down to 2018, when we did the bounce, it was a golden ratio as a resistance. Okay. Now, if we look at this one here and apply the macro Fibonacci, if this was to be, can we apply the top? I don't want to. I like to apply this area here because I believe the top was over, what do you call it? Over performance. So I'm happy with this Fibonacci level as it is, and you can use it. I can prove that this is significant in many ways. So this is the 0.5 on the big picture. So the bottom realistically, if this was to, I don't think this will descend all the way there today, but I do believe it will come down here. I have a feeling that this will bounce to this level and come down. I could be proven wrong. The other level that it can bounce to is applying the from this point up and looking for confluence, and I think the 0.5, yep, 0.5 is still the same. So that level to me, 30, what is it? Let me get my glasses. Okay, it seems to want to drop more. This is not holding, is it? What a bastard. People are just panicking, panic selling. So 30,000 now, this is going down to the next level. The way it looks like it. So what percentage is that? So from here, let's see. That's far 45%. That's ridiculous. That's the biggest ever. We didn't have that in the past. So the only time we had that is here, really. I think it was here, all the way down. And that was for 46%. So that was a top and 46%. And then you can see what a rally it goes. So let's have a look at that. And let's have a better look at this. Oh, that's a fucking nasty drop. Come on, what people are doing? Panicking like morons. Just dumping. So we'll look at this 2017 scenario. And I'm just going to lose all my shorts profits now with this going along. So I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have bet against it with the momentum. So there goes my shorts profits in this one. Bummer. I was making good money as well. Well, there goes my profit on the short. So looking at this, where are we? When this, I think somewhere around there, yeah. This wick here, look how fast it moved. That's 46%, and that's on the 8-hour. And let's have a quick closer look, because history teaches us a lot. So you can see capitulation at the top. Yeah, that is our top, isn't it? 19,000, yep. You can see this, it started from there, really. Actually, it started, we had one wick down, then up, and then capitulation all the way down to a formation of significance. And pretty much that's what we're having right now. And then you can see how it rallies up. And what you'll find that is when it bounces, it doesn't pass the 618. It gets blocked at the 618 and then continues down. I'm expecting something similar. So we'll get this capitulation. Wherever the bottom is, we'll get a rise, and the 618 will be our resistance. And so if we look at that and go back to what we have today. So actually, let's do that. Let's keep that there. What I'll do is I'll split the screen. I'll come back. Hello. Oh, come on. What is not moving? Okay, we got that there. Right. So now we're going to put this on the 8-hour chart. Oh, look at that nasty drop. You reckon it's going to drop more than that? I don't. I think similar to this, we've pretty much hit it, and we should at least get a freaking bounce, right? And let's do the Fibonacci on this. If the scenario was to be that. So just reverse that. Give me a sec. So the 618 is there. That's probably a bit too high, really. My thinking that's a bit too high. But if we look at this, all this previous support area, yeah, I suppose I would expect it somewhere a bit lower. And I could be wrong, but this area would be an area of resistance for me. I don't think it could bounce past that. So the 0.5 might be the, so this might have to go down a bit more to get that, to get the 0.5. So if I write, that could be the 0.5 area. So if I push this down, if this was to drop more, it matches the Fibonacci. Fuck, that's 24 grand. So you might be, yeah, 24 grand might be the case. Based on this move and the bounce to hit the 0.5, this could be 24 grand, 24K. Just using the reasoning, I suppose, is a word. And if we look at, if 24K, what's so significant about 24K? It's not. There's nothing significant. I don't think so. Let me look to the side. No, there's nothing significant except this. That's why I think this level made sense. Right there. 24K. Yeah, there is one, which is this formation. That could act as support. Other than that, all right, we're going to go back to 19K, all-time high. That would be, if it goes all the way down there, we can definitely guarantee. So I would place my buys here with what money I have left over. But I do believe this is the current area is the target for the head and shoulders. So this was the head and shoulders target, and that was derived from. So let's show you what that was derived from. Let me just get rid of all these moving averages. So you can see the neckline. It's very clear. Even though the left shoulder, yeah, the left shoulder is pretty high. It needs to be higher bigger than the right shoulder. So if that's the right shoulder, it is bigger in terms of amplitude. And then we have this head. and the neckline is pretty clear. Now, how do we measure? This is the hard part. How do you measure it, right? If we get the top and bring all the way down to this neckline, if that's the neckline, we can get that and apply it. And so far, it matches up. But that's why I'm thinking that there's no other formation that makes sense for this to go down that deep. Now the question is, can we use any other formation to be the neckline? I can't see it. So if I was to look closer to this, just get the auto adjusted, you can see how the current wick, yeah, there is definitely a wick there, and I do think we're going to go up. So you just had a little bit more to go. So that's my thinking at the moment. And I could be wrong, but the other target is much lower, which is down here. Now, if you haven't looked at a lot of people's version of Wyckoff's redistribution model, we just play that out. Okay, so if that was a Wyckoff's redistribution, not redistribution, distribution, which is a top formation, this is the neckline for it, this level. Okay, that was a Wyckoff base, and you can see where there was a bit of a hold up there, and then we plummeted, and we came back to the root of this structure. So this root of the structure also has confluence with the head and shoulders. So that gives me another reason to think that this is the temporary bottom. And my belief is we will have a rally to the 0.5 and then down. Back to down here. And that will complete our A, B, C. Now, let me check something before I just continue on. I could be wrong, but let me check. I have a gut feeling. So if you watch my previous posts and video streams, I had this notion that this, if I measure that length, I'll get the yellow. If I measure that length and apply it to where it came up, bounced, and my ABC would have been complete. However, even though I had the right principle, I probably applied it incorrectly. So now let's make this the A. A equal A to B is that. And if I get that, and if I apply AB equals CD, far out, that's a bit too much, isn't it? So that doesn't work out. No. So if it was up to there, that might work out. So if price comes all the way up to here, to this neckline, which is possible, I'm thinking of a dead cat bounce, but if price was to go up to this neckline and then down, then this model works. The A, B, C, D level works actually, which is ultimate bottom is about 21K. So I can only confirm that after this goes up. We've got to see a bounce, and we've got to see how high it goes. Hopefully it goes up to that level. And then we have this scenario where I think this is it. Let's see if this was the same. I'll grab that, double it, and apply it to the bounced area. And it did. It did work. So you can see it came down all the way down here. Although it took a while, the target was down here. Roughly, if I stretch that out, and let's look at it carefully. So yeah, that makes sense. So if that was the bounce, and then we did this capitulation, sometimes when you drag it, it changes size, as you can see. It's changed size. So if I can get that and apply it slowly, because when you do it quick, it changes size to the bounce area, and that's my AB equals CD. Somewhat true. It actually went further down. So here it came and then went a bit further. So that's another method that I use. Bitcoin free fall, yeah. No kidding. So we were too bullish for our own good. All the YouTubers giving all this bullshit, bullish scenarios. Mate, the market was ripe for a correction, big time. This was it. I did go over this many times on as to how to trade it, and I didn't trade it the best I could. So I did take some profit in the 50k range, 55, 56. I could have done it better, and I didn't get rid of all of my stuff, not thinking that it's going to do this. So as it descended, when it drops a key level, I took more profit out, and now I've got some left over, and I'm cashed up, and I'll trade those based on what I see. At the moment, I'm just doing short, small amount of money with high leverage to go up. So I'm not risking all my money. Anyway, this is a real capitulation. Maybe it could go a bit more further down. Who knows? And if you haven't sold, you better not sell now. Don't. It's stupid. We're towards the end of it, and it's likely to bounce. If you look at the COVID scenario, let's look at the COVID scenario, which is very extreme. You could see the bounce. This was very extreme, which is a black swan event, and you can see the capitulation went all the way down, and look at the response. So what makes you think that this cannot be the next springboard to the next rally? Why does it have to be a bear market? This is, if you look at it, this section here is this month. The previous month was great, so we're having a shit month. Okay. Now let's look at the monthly chart. If it gets there. For some reason it's a bit slow. Okay, let's go. Come on, baby. Give it to me. I don't have many applications open either. Oh, come on. Far out. It's really slow responding. This is, yeah, monthly. Okay. It's not auto adjusting. Okay, come on. Okay, there we go. So this orange line was my weekly 34 moving average, which was the next one below the 21, and it was significant. And now on the right, I'm going to do the monthly as well. And just do a correction. Here we go. So the monthly is not finished, right? But it looks damn shit. So if the monthly finishes this way, it's definitely a bear market. All right. If we don't get a bounce of a significant, so let's look at this. So we're going to compare apples to apples. If you look at the previous 2017 bull, from 2016 to 2017 bull run, there's months where there are significant pullbacks, and here's one that's really big, but you can see the wick in that month come back up. We had a doji for the month, and now we've got another, what is it? We're on the 19th. And what we want to see, and it's probably likely, like you can see where this, it didn't quite hit the monthly support level, which is about 20, yeah, about 30k. So we just missed the monthly support level. So this is a bit of an insight. This is a clue. one method, and I didn't apply it lately, but now it's come to mind. What you do is you get these lines, and you just use the body of the candle on the monthly to get the average, the monthly average. So we just fell short of that, didn't we? So that's the monthly support resistance level. And the previous month, we were already climbing. Look at that. And that was the previous month. So far, so good. If we can close this month higher, if we can get up to there, which is, what is this one? Let's see what the value of that is. That is 45k. It's probably not unlikely, but you never know. Now 45k, what I'm going to do is mark these as a monthly. Give me a second. Let me work through this. No, I didn't want that. All right. Monthly. So we're just going to keep track of this. And this is the other month. Let me just get in close because these candlesticks aren't easy to get the body. And right, so right there, I think that's close enough. I'll do that. And all I'll do is get the value. I'll just put it there. Okay, just string that across. So I would like to see this month close above that, number one. And let's see the previous month. Okay, 45. We're looking from a positive, bullish scenario. It doesn't mean the game's over. However, it does look like we're in a bad situation. No kidding. Now, let's get another factor out here. Give us a sec. Where's my indicators? Let's get the... oh yeah, where's my indicators on this? All right, let's look at the RSI. And I'll get my Phoenix out as well. So the RSI tells you where it's pretty much overextended and also changing trend. So let's just, come on, let's get this white so you guys can see it. Okay, come on. So the RSI is pretty much, you can see it, bearish divergence, right, with the RSI, and then we've got this correction all the way down. And I'll put the 50% level because that's important. Come on, hurry up! This is really slow. No reason. I'm not pushing this. I'm going to close it. Give me a sec. Close a few more apps, maybe. Okay, see if I can close any more. Yeah, maybe the PowerPoint. That doesn't help. And more profits. Okay. Okay, now maybe they free up a bit of speed. Come on. You can see it's not responding good. Do you think it's no China? We were supposed to fall. Now, why are we falling so much? That's the question. Well, if you look at historical charts, they all dropped hard. It doesn't help. Some people get convinced by news. Come on, far out. What a shit. Like, I've got 32 gig RAM on this and it's still struggling. Right, I'll shut down my. What else can I shut down? Okay, my video. I might take free up some grunt. Let me see the task line. How much memory? 78% on what? CPU. All right, I'm going to close. Save that. Just closing a few things. Sorry guys, but this is just, I'm going to close a few windows on my PC. It's just dragging. RSI, that's right. Oh, now it's working better after showing. So I'm going to put the 50% level on the RSI. And see where that takes us. So when the on the monthly, the 50% is really not significant at all. Well, you can see on this indicator, the bottom, when it's really, the bottom is very well far down. And in that case, we got a long way for that to happen. And let's just add the RSI on this one. Really? And the MACD, yeah, MACD, you can, that's pretty obvious, so I'm not interested in that. And I already had the RSI there, okay. So you can see this RSI was not as bad overextended as the 2017. So on the monthly, so that just shows you that we weren't really that overextended. Still extended, but not overextended compared to 2017. So that, but we didn't have this kind of formation on the RSI, did we? So that kind of pullback only occurred when we hit the top. So that's not a good sign. Here we have the crossover of this green RSI. So in my opinion, this is going to go further down. But this RSI on the monthly can always pull back up. It's weird, but it can pull back up. I've seen it do many times. It doesn't mean that's where it stays on the monthly. It can pull back up. We got another 10 days. Is it 19th? Yeah, 11 days for this to pull back up. And so far, the capitulation's taken place. And let's see another thing with this RSI. So we haven't hit this previous, yeah, so we've got two levels here. This level was a level of significance, and we didn't hit that yet. You can see prior to this was a level of significance when we bounced. And this, so we're using reference points to find out how low the RSI needs to go bearish. So right here, that is 50% or 49%. So when we lose it above below 50% on the monthly, we have a deeper pullback. Here we have the Phoenix. It's nowhere near on the monthly, near the 50%, and the red RSI hasn't even gone nearby. I'll go bearish when all these two indicators on the monthly have come down to the 50%. If that makes sense. So previous bear market started here when this was 50%. We're up here. The red is up there. Even though it's a nasty pullback, we haven't started the bear market. I'll use that as a reference. So, and you can see when this dropped, when it hit the 50%, that big candlestick on the monthly, so we had two bad months, that pushed it down to a bear market. So we're nowhere near, based on this indicator, we're nowhere near that. This RSI is, as I said, is more about changing trend, and it's nowhere near 50%. It's, what is it, 61%. And the month's not over yet. So this monthly could be, probably could come up to there, really. But now I've drawn my lines. Let's have a look on the weekly. Okay. So it's obvious that I had these lines drawn before. Here we go. Come on. Is this my weekly one? No, this couldn't be my weekly. So when it broke there, that's pretty much capitulation there. And I had this formation as a reference point for the bull to go back bullish. So it never eventually broke this. I was watching this area to see if it was going to break to the upside, and it never did. So it pushed down. So that was a good sign. Now on the weekly, we are very down. Yeah. So we passed the 50% level. Let's get rid of this. No, we don't want that. I want that. Don't want that. Just these are key levels. So if I was to use this as an example, where we might see the turnaround, it's when this crosses back over. And last time it crossed back over, it was there on the weekly. So the good thing about this one is, see this grey energy, it's nowhere near as deep. It's aligned with this green. So we might have a chance for the grey to go up and the green to follow suit. Something similar to this. So on the weekly, we've got a bit of work to do. But the good thing is the red just hit the 50% level. If this green was to turn back up, we might have a good week or a good month, sorry. This so far is not that bad considering. So I'm using these indicators on the weekly to gauge what's happening and is likely to happen moving forward. Now let's look at how we go close up. So the indicators show me that we're having a bad week, and we need to see the following week. We need another week to work out what's going on. So let's go back to this chart. Come on. All right. What annoying. It's still, because I think I'm doing video streaming. It's just hard work for this machine, it looks like. Maybe it's the network, I've got no idea. Come on. So this is significant, right? Price came down to the head and shoulders target, which is about just almost 30K. Now you can see my monthly support, that's been broken. Price has gone back up. And this is the previous month. And you can see where previous month it has confluence with the weekly support and resistance. And I did talk about this structure. even if you don't want to look at this structure as head and shoulders, you still take the height of that structure, which is I'll make it blue, right? And you just height of that structure becomes a target to the breakout point, which is roughly there. If I was to take this wick, it'll probably won't be as bad. So I think it's head and shoulders, 100%. And so far, it's acting like head and shoulders. And what that bounce for Bitcoin so far has been 23% bounce. There you go. That's significant bounce. This is on Coinbase. And if we look on the daily now, there you go. All the short people, whoever's shorting got, they're stuffed up shorting there, whoever on. So, and we're going back to far out. This is nasty. But this was, this is area of significance, which is previous, the neckline of this structure, which was inverse head and shoulders. This was the neckline. And price has just come back to that level, which is also probably to that fib level. Anyway, so who was to think that that wick will be that big? And if I look at my, there you go. I was long in it and I made good money on that. And now I better close that long. Because there might just be a bit of a bounce. Let me see. Yep, it might come back down a bit. So I'm going to just cash in that long from the bottom. Thank you. Just made a good profit from the bottom. I bet against. I bet with the head and shoulder scenario. So I just clicked a nice reward there. So I assumed, and if you haven't watched this from the beginning of this video, this was my height of the head. Okay. And we discussed this. I've seen it being discussed, and I did discuss it. I believe I discussed it on one of my video streams that there's a potential for it, and this looks 100% head and shoulders so far the way it's playing out. Now look at the daily RSI. Realistically, that's 21%. That's very low, well overextended, well deep. And look at the last time that was much lower was the COVID scenario, which is 15%. But here we had it on the daily is about 22% as well. So this range was this. You can sort of say that's an acceptable range, really. And if you did sell, you don't sell it when it's close to support. You just don't do that. Now, while I'm looking on the daily, come on, bloody thing. Now we've got to see how high it bounces. So let's just look at that scenario. You can see how this is turning around. I've got my green and red RSI on the daily, and you can see the energy is more higher than this. So it's still not high enough. I need to see this go to 50%. So what I can do here, let's just make it easy for myself. Yes, all eyes on the weekly candle, definitely. It makes all the difference. I'm just trying to reverse that and just maximize your screen. So that's the monthly there. We can get rid of the monthly. I made my point on the monthly. The 34, you can see on the monthly, 34 moving average. Now I'm going to get the 34 weekly moving average here, all right? Where am I? Here's a I didn't close it. Here we go. Bloody shit. Sorry about my language, but this is frustrating. So move that across. Don't need that at the moment. 34. My 34 weekly is this one here. Okay. I was looking at this on the 34 weekly as a support level. It might act as resistance. And let's look at the Fibonacci. I do believe we're going to be ranging in this top level and this bottom level. We're going to be ranging. So it's going to be very, what's the word? What's the word for that? Volatile. I think we're going to have lots of volatility. And if you play your volatility very well, we can probably do very well with the profits. So I'm going to make the assumption that that's the bottom. I'm going to assumption that's the top there. Now, we're going to look at the levels that it's going to potentially bounce. So let me simplify this template, make it basic. No, that's not the one. Yep, that's the one. Just give me a sec while I turn our heater on. It's a bit cold over here in Melbourne. So what we're looking at now is this was a previous neckline of support on the daily of a significant level. We haven't broken that. So we need to go above that, number one. This level here, this level, it's a band rather than a level. That level I'd like to see on the weekly close above it. So we need to see close above this weekly and ideally above this 618. Okay, so actually here we go. Just get rid of that 1.2 because that's a bit confusing. And let's just flip this around. So if that was our bottom, we need to price. We need to see price at least get to that level, which is 45k, and then potentially find this area. There's the 0.5, a support, or 0.382. So on the daily, we need to see it close, get up to that level, and at the moment it's got a bit of momentum. On the weekly, we need to see it close above this line here. My thinking. Actually, this level here, sorry, the 0.382. We need to see the weekly close above this, which is about 40k based on this Fibonacci. And then if we look across, it makes sense. This was a strong resistance. So we want to see price close above this on the weekly. The reason why I say it's the weekly, because the daily could flick up and down. And it's not something that you can rely on. But the weekly is over a big period of time, which proves to be what's the word? A duration where it stays above a certain level. Then you can take that as confirmation that it's above that level. So you can see the 32 I'm sorry, 34 weekly moving average. Now, if I check on the 20, give me a sec. Let's check the 20, all right, 21. People like using 21. And I'll make that green. That's the one there now. That's a major, that will be a major resistance on the 21 weekly moving average. So you can see how much we dropped from that. It's a lot. That's a lot on the 21 weekly moving average, isn't it? Far out, we dropped a lot. It's even below that. So, and now I'm going to turn on the 21 monthly. This is what the 21 monthly is. So that's way down there. So let's look at the 10 monthly. 10 monthly, 2017, was our area of support. So the 34 daily and the monthly 10 moving average, we need to see a bit close above this. So it's 30, yeah, again, 40K roughly. And it still supports the fact that this level, so I'm still happy with this level here. Doesn't have to be, with this monthly might come down depending how it turns out. And if you look at the monthly and the 34, you can see the monthly 10 moving average, the green, it was a point of support. And the moment we didn't close above it is, so this one dropped and we had a bit of time, but once we dropped below it, once it's been compromised, it eventually compromises a lot. And then we downward descent. So what we want to see now is we need to see the monthly close above it. And if that's the level, let's just put a line there. I'll put that line there. Let's look at the monthly chart. Yes, okay. So you can see that line. Come on, don't want that. You can see it's already moving up towards it. We like to see it close above it. So that will have a nice wick to the upside. I'll get rid of those. That's a monthly, so I don't need that. I can't even put in the weekly. And you can see these two lines, the 34 weekly and the monthly 10 moving average. So here you see the monthly and 34 acting as support all the way through. So on the monthly, we want to see it close above it. That gives you a fighting chance for continuation on the bull market. In many cases, if we get something like that, that is very bullish, right? That kind of candle, if we get anything like that, that's fantastic. But we're going to wait and see. Even something like this, something that is smaller than the previous month, something that is, if you get a red candle that's less than half the previous month, we're fantastic. So that's all I've got for now at this point, looking from the big picture. From a bullish perspective. Now, the bearish perspective is if we close like this, well, then it's likely to continue down. And as I said on the daily, if we look on the daily, I'm just going over the few points that I made before. We need to see where this bounces to. So if this is my length, which I'll make white, if that's my length, wherever it bounces to and reverses, I will apply that length to it and work out the distance. So if it comes up to there, this is the bearish case scenario where A, B, C, D. The other scenario is we can have, if we have our A, wherever that B is, don't know where it is. So it's here, which makes sense. This range, we can have a double bottom. So that could be the case where we could move up, or we have one even better where it does that. We have a higher low. If we have a higher low, still part of the W formation, that's still bullish. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we're going to get up to this level. There's no promises. We just got to wait to see how we get there. Okay, let me look at a few of the comments. All eyes on this weekly closing candle. Yes, I agree. Envy of the scalpers who had it right. Yes. Do you think it is the end of crypto or a chance to buy crypto? What do you mean by end of crypto? You must be a newbie. We just hit bloody 60,000, 60 something thousand. How can it be the end? What will be the end? Crypto is, what is crypto? Crypto is a disruptive technology. This is not just making money. This is technology that's going to change the industries, from logistics to financial markets. This is not end of crypto. This is just one of many solutions, IT solutions. My background is IT. The reason why I got involved in crypto in 2015 is because I'm in IT projects. I do IT. I used to do IT solutions. I was a consultant, and I used to roll solutions out to industry. When I was in crypto, with its decentralization model and all the other security features, mate, it's not going to go away. So crypto is here to stay. Just to answer that, in terms of Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin's the mother of them all. You imagine what a new technology comes out that does crypto Bitcoin better than Bitcoin. That's the end of Bitcoin. And whatever comes up as a new solution, that will be the big one. I recall Cisco was a little shitty company. And then when Cisco came out with its switches and routers and all the rest, it became a juggernaut. Microsoft was the same. And then now they're all going, because now they become really big and huge. Now there's all these little shitty companies, small ones, are taking over, taking on the big boys. This is the same. Disruptive technology. Look at Chainlink, which does oracles against blockchain, which sucks in databases. And Oracle, the big giant, is partnered with them. So this is not going away. Crypto is here to stay. This chart tells you it's here to stay. This, come on, look at this chart. From bloody, what was it? That doesn't capture it. It was probably 10 cents back then. So this doesn't capture it when Bitcoin was about, less than $1. My entry, this is my entry, man, when I first came. Where's it, 2015? I recall seeing this. Yeah, I was here. I entered here and I saw this. I learned about it after this big pullback. This is when China, this is a Chinese event. China banned it and it dumped. This was a Chinese initiated event and it dumped. And I was involved in buying here, my first crypto, right down there. I was just fortunate to come at the right time. So yeah, I bought a fair bit of Bitcoin there and I made a lot of money and I fucked up all the way. And I fucked up there. I lost it all. Oh, no, I didn't lose it all, but I lost a lot because I didn't know how to trade. I didn't know what a bear market was just back then. So I've seen all this, and I've written all that, and I've learned all my lessons. I came back and took it serious, and I learned everything about this and the nature of it and all the rest. This is new. This is very new. So this is not easy to forecast because it's different to the past. And we're using the past to tell us what's happening right now. And it's not easy. And that's where it is. So this formation hasn't taken place. Not really. This is a top end. I expected something like this. This formation here was very similar to this. I rode this and this was parabolic, the way it just kept on going up and up and up. And then it was a blow off top. This was a blow off top. This wasn't. This was gradual, and this was pretty much an ascending wedge, and then a breakdown. That was the beginning of it. Now we hit the root of it. Now this is like a reset button. Now where's it going to go? This could break down more, or this could keep going up. And that's no one's going to be able to answer that. No one. So if you want to know if you should go long or short, can't tell you, and no one can, because this is a very bearish move. But are we going to hold the key levels? Well, this is a key level we need to hold. If it drops below this level, then I reckon we're in bear market. Definitely. If we drop this level, this is my exit for sure, 100% exit. At the moment, it's not. We're not there. So those are my thoughts in regards to this. I meant bull cycle, absolutely. Okay. So hold on. What's this? He meant bull cycle, absolutely. Bull cycle, okay. Too early to say. When this is a nasty month. So let's look at the 2 weeks. Mid-month, right? Let's have a different perspective from the 2 weeks. Let's look at that. Does that look a top end? It does. It does look topish. Does it look nasty? Well, this was much worse, really. This was like red after red after red after red. This was a struggle. And eventually a breakdown. Now, why did it drop? Let me save this. Give me a sec. I'm going to show you reasons for why it dropped. Let's just get rid of that. These is freaking easy reasons, right? No China, none of that shit. Mate, bearish divergence, fucking standing out clear. That's flat. You can say that's flat. I can bring it to the weekly. It's even much evident on the weekly, but this is 2 weekly. Actually, let me show you the week and the 2 weekly, the weekly. Sorry. Can you see this bearish divergence? Like, you got to be blind not to see this. Come on, that's what dropped. There's no other reason. No Elon Musk, not China. This is a bearish divergence. It's dropping. You'd be nuts to not see that. And this was less. This was gentle, like this. So you can see here, it didn't match the I suppose the angle. Okay, it didn't match that angle. So this was still a bearish divergent. And if you look at from that top to that top, this was very bearish divergent here. From there to there, that was significant. When it dropped and it came, the RSI fell very short, and that was a bearish divergence that played out. Here, we have a flat top, and price was going up. Another bearish divergence on the weekly. That's why it dropped. This is significant. Like, this is nothing compared to these ones. That, and we all of a sudden we're surprised that's going to drop. Come on. We've been calling this out for a while. We just didn't know when it was going to kick in. Now look at the daily. If I look on the daily on this chart, I wasn't the only one that said this. This is come on, that is an ascending wedge. The rule of an ascending wedge is this level is resistance. Hello, it did it perfectly. So when it broke out of that spot, when it broke from there, and you didn't sell, well, you should have sold when it came up here. That was clear. And the bearish divergence continued on. Just basic fundamentals. You don't need anyone on YouTube to tell you this. This is just basic fundamentals. It was all there in your face. People are, I suppose, don't want to talk about it. I think the alts were the main form of focus, And what it did was it distracted a lot of people from it, distracted them from Bitcoin and its potential drop. So if we look closer to this, hold on, give me a sec. You can see, right? You can see now on the daily, see how this is turning around? Potentially, we're going to have a bit of recovery. These yellow dots are showing up over exhaustion and a potential to turn around like this one here. So what I like to see is this green crossing the red and giving us this upward momentum on the daily. It's very cold here. But anyway, that was like this trend was acting as a resistance all the way at this RSI. So even when this was bouncing, these were selling points. Touch, sell. And this fell short completely. And that's why we dropped. So even though the daily RSI gives you, and it's not the best indicator, and that even gives you a good picture of what's going on. And then what we had, if I lets me delete it, we had another one. So we had this. You can also say that's the wedge, right? And these are pivot points on the wedge, and therefore they'll be the targets. Here you go. That was that first target, bounced up, came down, didn't quite make that target. The second one did though. That was the second target. This is the third target. So what made it come down here is this head and shoulders. That's why we came down here. That kicked in. Now I don't see anything else that I can use as a reference to price action. There's no other way of explaining this. I don't see any other angle. And here, this was another breakdown. This was clear, a breakdown, another ascending wedge, right? And again, this had its own little micro targets. And that's pretty much it. Summary. Hopefully that explains all this stuff. Okay, so let me see. Questions. Let me see what the questions are. Okay. Okay. A few people telling me some figures and news. Liquidation is okay. Liquidated longs 9.4 million at 32,000. So there's a lot of shorts being liquidated, and you've got to be careful how you take these trades. But hopefully that explains a fair bit. So my current explanation for this drop there is the head and shoulders playing out. And let me just clean this up. And what do you need to know, you guys? I pretty much described what levels we need to look at. This was the neckline. This was a significant neckline, and it failed. Yeah, that was the neckline. And if you didn't get out of this, this was your get out thing. And I use this as well. So when I exited some of here, this was my last draw, and I exited a fair bit out there, and the rest I'm hodling to ride it out. So usually what happens is with a big dump, there's usually a bounce, and there might be a case where in what happens here is it might not be a easy way of recovering, but in the coming days, hopefully, what's today? So it comes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. Usually 4 days. So if you look at this one here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about a week to reverse. If we're going to get a reversal, it could take a week, right? Even here, it took a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 candles before we start climbing. So up to a week where we can potentially hang around here and go up, or continuation down. Who's to know? So what we need to do is keep watching this space. This so far is the good response. It's not the best response because you want to see it go continue up to a certain height. It would have been better if it was up to this point. That would have been really nice. And we're not there yet. And so these are the scenarios you need to picture. And this RSI on the daily can go down more. But it's already down a fair bit, but it can go down more. I can't see it matching the COVID scenario. That COVID scenario is very extreme. And I just can't see us matching that. Yeah, right there. Can you see this one going to that level? What equates to COVID in the crypto world or the stock market? Nothing. So I can't see this RSI dropping any further on the daily. So here's the other scenario there. This was the previous, and we're pretty much right on it. Give us a sec. So the RSI is pretty much done. If you compare it to all the other RSI moments, there's one here. Not sure what that one was. So this one was, yeah, okay. That was a 2019 one. So, but that's still higher. Even that was higher with that big dump on the daily. So this is close to second on the RSI being overextended. And I think I've covered all I want to say. You guys want me to cover anything else? Because I think Bitcoin is the God market, dictates what everything's going on. And if you missed some of my commentary, go back to this video and have a look at what I've been saying and how I've been measuring it. But I think I'm just trying to help you guys understand why certain things happened and what things to look for. That was my goal, just to give you an understanding on how to look at the chart and look at the key levels and what to look for. And I think I did a good job of it. You know, you were the judge. But yeah, I just want to help you guys out because a lot of newbies don't know what's going on. There's a lot of shit on the internet, and I'm just going from a technical analysis perspective just to help you guys out. So I'm going to wrap it up here. If you've got any other questions, let me know. But at the end of the day, do I think the bull cycle is finished, the bull market? Not yet. I'm reserving that. I'm holding back on that judgment because I need to see how this week finishes. The week and the month will tell us exactly. It doesn't help you guys that have already lost money, and it doesn't help you guys with a quick answer. You're just not going to get it. But we can tell you that it's pretty bearish at the moment, and we are most likely not to return here anytime soon. We're going to have a few weeks of sideways action, volatility, and uncertainty. Definitely uncertainty, what it does is it stagnates momentum. So with uncertainty, we can potentially have a slow descent. This is drastic. I don't think we're going to have another one. This is extreme, and probably this last section here got all the weak hands gone. So I don't see another event doing this. The rest is going to be more readable and more measured. That's my expectations. So I'll leave it at that. I hope it's all worthwhile. Hang around, listening to what I have to say, and wait for my next update, I suppose. Okay. Have a good evening. All the best, and good night from me. It's past 12 midnight here. Cheers. Bye.